Research says resilience and grit determine quality of life in a crisis. But what is resilience? Who are the ordinary people doing extraordinary things while staying healthy and safe during COVID? How do they persevere with passion in the middle of a public health crisis? Join us as they share their stories and show us everything.
One Georgetown professor once said, creativity is his vaccine. It's Jimmy G kicking off another episode of Show Us Everything along with my best friend, Kyle. What's up,
That's right,
man?
baby. Yeah, no, as an artist myself, I can attest to the fact that being creative, being inspired, having a goal, having something to push forward really keeps you grounded in super uncertain times. So we got a great one. You interviewed me at the studio, right?
Yeah, sure is a fun episode. Two really cool interviews. One, I interviewed Kyle right here because not many people know, he is a fantastic guitar player. He's a better guitar player than he is a TV show host.
Oh, God, that's not hard to beat, but don't worry about that. And then I interviewed Mark Weiss, a fantastic photographer. He's got his own books. He's got all kinds of stuff to showcase. He has artifacts from all kinds of famous rock and rollers.
The dude partied with Motley Crue, so
He's a
you know
legend.
this is going to be a good episode.
It's good stuff. You're going to enjoy it. It's really fun and creative. It's inspiring. You're going to hear great music, see some cool stuff, dig into some history. So check it out. You'll enjoy it on Show Us Everything.
What's going on? It's Jimmy G. This is Show Us Everything. Ordinary people doing absolutely incredible, extraordinary things during a unique time, COVID-19. I'm so happy to have one of my good buddies now, Kyle Ward. He's also, of course, the co-host to this wonderful show, Show Us Everything. In addition, he has his own production company. Kyle Ward, dude, awesome to be interviewing you. What's up?
I'm honored that you guys came here. It's great to be at the studio.
Out of all those three things that I just named, production company, co-host to this show, and guitar player, you play a lot of gigs. Talk about those experiences. Maybe, what's your favorite thing? What do you enjoy about all three?
When I record a song with someone, I play the parts, and they feel comfortable with me, and they want to do gigs, right? So that helps. It fuels that. And vice versa, you have a good gig life with someone, you build a good rapport and you have good chemistry, you say, hey, can we record? So I started out as a guitar player. I just wanted to perform. And when I went to school, I got into tech. And I thought I'd be getting into music production and recording and microphones and technology. But really, I got into helping people because I ended up making friends with all these clients. You open up and you share experiences and you talk about these songs. And all of a sudden, you're like good friends and you're bouncing ideas back and forth. So it's really just built this excellent group of creative people, and we're just helping each other. And
Absolutely.
My goal is to just get their stuff to sound good.
Yeah, that's a great first question. I'm going to segue into the beginning stages of this before we talk about your businesses and how you're evolving during pandemic. Berkeley. You got your undergrad at Berkeley, which is absolutely incredible. It's fascinating to think that that you graduated from Berkeley. Talk about you studying at Berkeley and how that really, helped you, in the real world.
It took a little while to figure it out, but, in the moment, I was just learning cool stuff. I didn't know it was setting me up to completely change my entire perspective on music, even life. I mean, like I said, I was into guitar, I was into classic rock, and then discovering technology and I just started looking at playing from the hat of a composer, and
Sweet.
I started looking at recording with the musician's hat. All this stuff really gave me more tools and gave me better perspective on really how to do each one of these jobs.
Fun.
You know what I mean? And Berkeley gave me the tools to succeed because they made me record small projects like take 4 people and make a pop song and mix it and submit it. Or my final project to graduate, I had to record a full 60-person orchestra. I had to write an original composition for 60 players, and I had to write papers for every single person, and I had to hand them out, and the charts had to be correct, and I had to stand up and conduct it. I took 2 semesters to conduct it. So all these different things that are cool at the time, but you don't really know how they're going to add up, it all kind of gets added to that mental resume, and you have those experiences, and I didn't know how much I'd want to do string stuff now. But anyway, all the stuff I learned, it's kind of benefited the performance and the teaching, because I have more knowledge, and the production,
Wow, it sounds like an incredible, college experience. While you were doing that, I was, drinking a lot at the bar. So
we had our fun too, but Boston was cold, so we'd be inside like, singing.
Berkeley, you were talking about the ins and outs. It seems like you were getting to know more about the business side of things, and that's why you kind of implemented Kyle Ward Productions during COVID, during this pandemic.
That's right.
Talk about that production company, your production company.
Yeah, I always played with somebody else who sang, so it was always this person and Kyle Ward, or this person's name, and I was in the band. When I got to school, I realized I can use my skills and have my own name. I don't need to be a singer per se. I can speak through my guitar. I can speak through my productions. Kyle Ward Productions is just like me kind of just, I always just wanted to kind of unleash my inner artist and be able to help people. And it was always like, well, you're not a singer. You're not the traditional artist that gets their name out there. How are you going to do it? And so this is me just being like, well,
Sweet.
You don't need to sing to have your name and stuff. You don't need to, you can express yourself through the beat, through the music, through whatever.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's exciting. So Kyle Ward Productions, you have a beautiful guitar, right downstairs, right before you head into this wonderful workshop, this production place, and it's a signed guitar from Bruce Springsteen. You live in Rumson, beautiful place, right near right near Asbury Park. A lot of great venues. Talk about some of the people that you've looked up through, while you're playing music. Bruce Springsteen, I'm sure, is one of them.
Yeah, I have the blonde Telly downstairs. He's a huge influence. We got the great fortune of trick-or-treating at his house when we were younger.
Oh, sweet.
And seeing his big house and knowing he's a music man.
Did
He's an
Bruce
entertainer.
Springsteen give out good candy bars?
Oh, his Halloween was the best. I mean, you bring a pillowcase there because they had a cauldron, yay big, and they were just doling out candy.
Yeah, it's good to know that he's not giving out fun sizes.
But seeing that success and being like, wow. I have the great fortune of living in a nice town, and a lot of people made their money either through business or through entrepreneurial roles. Not a lot of musicians though, and Bruce is a unique guy, and having Bon Jovi in the town, those guys are the fuel for this great music scene. All these people around, Last night I played with Jared Clemens, who's Bruce's sax player's son. Right, he's playing Springsteen tunes all the time. People connect with that stuff. They like hearing Born to Run and Thunder Road. And a lot of the cover bands and original bands, you hear them have that Jersey sound. They're kind of emulating that. So I respect that, and I like that sound, and I play with people who have it. I've definitely done a lot of stuff outside that, like hip hop and metal, and I get into acoustic stuff, whatever my clients are into.
Cool.
That's why it's such a blessing to do this job, because every day it's something different. I'm working with someone who wants to do acoustic, someone wants to do a heavy thing, someone wants to do whatever. I get to play the guitar, I get to play the drums.
It's
fun.
Yeah, 100%. And to gear this back to, ordinary people doing extraordinary things during the pandemic, during COVID-19, which is, has been so tough for many families and individuals around the entire world.
Yeah.
For you, obviously it's not a positive situation, but for you, you kind of took this negative situation and made the most of what you have, and you have different projects going on. Do you think maybe it was a positive thing this last year where you were kind of doing your own thing and making it work through an unfortunate time?
Yeah, it's crazy to say, but being put in abnormal circumstances makes you really kind of take a big picture look at what's going on.
Yeah.
And I was happy with a lot of stuff I was doing, but I really wanted to reach my full potential and use all my skill sets. I liked gigging, but I wanted to do original music, be involved in writing, and this time. With people being more available, with a lot of big studios being closed, really gave me a launch pad in a time where a lot of people can't do anything. It really
awesome.
kind of enabled me to message a lot of people and be safe, wear a mask, right? But it's a lot of people, it's one-on-one, and it's just safe. We're just being creative, and it's a good time for that.
What's next for Kyle Ward? What are the shows going to be like, maybe in the production studio as well? What do you want to accomplish moving forward after this pandemic?
So much. Man, my ultimate goal is to have a Grammy someday and be touring with some well-known bands. And I know there's a whole lot of steps on the way to get there. But just keeping up with the acts I'm playing with, I've had to adapt and play more acoustic acts because the big bands, it's budget issues and spacing. So no, I want to keep nurturing those relationships, and hopefully they turn into tours and bigger things. And I love the bar stuff, but I'd love to get back when the venues permit it into big shows.
Yeah.
And with productions, I just want to keep producing anyone that'll have me. And it wouldn't be such a bad thing if some bigger artist came along. But I'm just working and building up the resume. I'm just wearing the multiple hats, and I'm going out just like roots from a tree. I'm just kind of spreading out, branching out in different directions.
Where can our viewers go check out your stuff?
Yeah, please check me out. You can check out KYL Beats on Spotify. You can go to KyleWardProductions.com. You can follow me on Instagram, KyleWard27, Facebook, whatever, under my name. Yeah, no, please reach out to me, even with questions, advice on songs. Like, I just want to help people and be creative. That's what it's all about here.
I would love to watch you play some guitar right now.
Yeah, I'd love to show you some stuff. I guess we could do some guitar.
Let's do it. Yeah, 100%.
Here's my clean sound. And then a little more dirt on this channel.
Wow.
Something like that.
That's awesome. Hey, I got a quick question. Like, when you are playing guitar like that, obviously there had to be some guitarists that you were looking up to when you were growing up. I mean, that reminds me of Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
A little bit of Jerry Garcia. These guys are picking away. Name some of your favorite top guys.
Yeah.
From the past.
My father loves Zeppelin. He loves all that good classic rock. I really love Pink Floyd. I think David Gilmour is a great guitar player. Jimmy Page, just because of Zeppelin. And then, getting into different types of music, I admire a lot of names that maybe some people wouldn't know. But like technical, really popular modern guys like Jason Richardson and Eddie Van Halen, rest in peace. I mean, he was an absolute pioneer. His two-hand tapping technique changed guitar.
100%.
So I love innovative guys.
We obviously offset. We talk and hang out and talk about details about music and stuff. And we like underground and hardcore music and really just wacky stuff that a lot of the regular people don't even know. So there is a lot of music out there, and I feel like your guitar playing can relate to all those genres.
I try to walk the fine line between, every artist has a vision, every artist has a sound. So I try to be me and inject my sound, but respect their music and their sound, So it's a fun balancing act. Every gig I play or every production I work on, it's like, how do I be me, but how do I give them what they want
100%.
at the same time? Because it's about them and their song and their stuff. So. Nah, dog, I'm so happy.
Play like an original tune for us.
Yeah.
If you have one.
This is like a piece of a lead, if I can remember it, from one of my originals called Arachnid.
That's insane. Incredible, dude. Well, I wish you tremendous success. Whatever you're going to do with this show, show us everything. Playing guitar, playing gigs, your production company. I know it's a bright future, and I'm glad to be friends with you. And
thank you.
Moving forward, it's going to be an incredible experience for you. And
It's a busy one.
Wish you nothing but success.
Thank you.
Honestly, I truly believe this is really important, that I think a lot of local musicians around the Jersey Shore, even throughout New Jersey, have to come check out this production studio and get to know Kyle, because I think he's a great person to work with and can only make your music better. So Kyle Ward Productions, give Kyle Ward a shot and listen to his tunes. And thanks for tuning in to Show Us Everything. My name is Jimmy G.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Kyle Ward, thank you.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Great to be here.
Thanks for coming.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
Some great artwork here.
Here we are. Welcome to the Mount Museum in
That's
Lincroft.
Right.
The hidden gem.
The hidden gem.
We got to let people know about this.
Right, we're going to learn all about it. We're going to learn how the community can get involved, and we're going to spread the word about you and your story and all the cool stuff you've been doing during this pandemic. So
Cool, let me show you around, man.
let's
Come
do
on.
it. All right, guys. I'm with the very cool and talented Mark Weiss. We're at the Monmouth Museum. We're surrounded by all this beautiful artwork. So these are all taken by you, right?
Yep, they're mine. They're my
yours.
babies.
So why don't you tell us how you got into this? Because this is a pretty
Wow.
interesting line of work. I mean,
Yeah.
all these performers, all the stories you must have to
Right,
tell.
right, right.
Get into it.
Well, it started by mowing lawns. I
Right.
was 12 years old, Lake Ridge, Matawan, New Jersey, and I was mowing lawns for $5 a cut.
Okay.
And then I saw this lawn that was really high, and usually that guy usually cuts it himself, but he didn't for a few weeks, so I knocked on his door and I said, "Do you need your lawn cut?" You know, I thought his lawnmower's broken or something. So
Yeah, sure.
he goes, "I cut it myself." The guy said to me, and I said, "Well, it doesn't look that way." And so he giggled, and he's like, "I was a smart ass."
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, "I'll tell you what." And he came back with this camera that's actually hanging in the museum. We'll show you later.
Cool.
On my mannequin. And it's this Bell & Howell Canon. And he said, "I'll give you this if you mow my lawn for the season." And then I started taking pictures of my dog and my brother. And a year later, I started going to concerts. And then I stuck my camera into the concerts, and then it kind of took off. And then my career began.
That's amazing. So you're going to these concerts. Are you getting a ticket and you're just sneaking the camera in? Are you trying to get backstage and get the exclusive shot? Like, get into a little,
No,
like...
I wasn't like a paparazzi or anything like that. I was just like a concert goer. I was a fan. Then Kiss played like 3 nights in '77.
Love them.
Went the first night, and then I stayed up all night, and then I got the pictures developed, and then for $1 a piece, I sold them to the next night. And then I got arrested selling bootleg pictures. But then when the Kiss busted me, I'm like, all right, now what am I going to do?
Wow.
So what did I do? I went back to my house and kind of read my Circus magazine and dreamed about being a rock photographer. It's the summer of '78, and I stuck my camera into Aerosmith, Ted Nugent, Journey.
Cool.
And I had some really great photos, and they needed photos. The secretary called me up and said, "Do you have any pictures of Aerosmith?" And I said, "Yeah, I just got some great shots."
Right.
Brought them in, left them there. 2 months go by. Beatles were on the cover, October '78 issue of Circus, and it was the centerfold, the biggest picture in the magazine,
And it was yours.
along with all these other photographers that I looked up to, Lynn Goldsmith, Bob Gruen, Mick Rock, all these.
Wow.
And then that was it. Then I turned the page, and there was a full page of Ted Nugent, and then the ball started rolling.
That's amazing,
I ended
man.
up being their photographer,
Wow.
and then within like less than a year, I was shooting like Van Halen for them as an assignment.
One of my favorite bands. And one of the reasons why I play guitar, which segues perfectly into, we're in a time where a lot of people are down, right? And there are a lot of studies that show that creativity and having that drive kind of fuels you to be happier, healthier, just keeps you on the ball, right? And so I guess my question is, seeing all this amazing stuff, seeing what you're doing, there's not really concerts right now, right? So, what have you been doing to kind of improvise and keep yourself busy and like keep yourself driven?
Right. See, back in the '80s, I never had a portfolio. I was so busy touring with all these bands, Rat, Ozzy, Guns N' Roses, Bon Jovi, you name
cool.
it,
Yeah, sure.
So I'm busy going on tour to tour, traveling on their buses, having fun, the whole thing. I never had a portfolio. And then the '90s came, and it was kind of shunned because you were hair metal rock or hard rock.
Right.
So I thought all these album covers that I've done, Bon Jovi, Cinderella. So, all these accolades just started happening, and it's still happening. It's just snowballing. You guys being here, helping me spread the word of the Monmouth Museum. I mean, I'm on the board now at the Monmouth Museum.
Right.
I never expected that.
Right.
Stephen Van Zandt, his Teach Rock program is like amazing, and it's all connected. So we're all helping each other, and we all want to get them to the Monmouth Museum, not only to see my because I don't want it to just be about my photography. Rock photography is important, but there's other photographers I want to bring here.
I admire you, man. You work with all my heroes, and like, I mean, Eddie, I was saying before, he's like the reason I got into guitar. So to have you hang out with him and to be here, it's really fantastic. But speaking of the book, Decade That Rocked, can we see some some pages? Some of the stuff
here
you
it
like?
is. Now check it out.
We got GNR on the cover, of course. I love how Axel's giving the finger.
There's a funny story about
excellent.
the finger shot.
Okay.
So the first time I shot them, it was in 1986. They were just a nobody band. The buzz was out, and I did a photo shoot for a magazine, and he didn't really want his photograph taken. He had their own photographer. So during the whole shoot, Axel's giving me the finger like that. You know, it's like
Just
you know,
subtly
just like that.
below the belt. Yeah.
And it's funny. So that was my first shoot, and this is the last shoot with Guns N' Roses with the finger. So it just
That's
I
awesome,
didn't even
man.
notice it until later. I put them all together. But
Where can we find this book? Everywhere?
You can find this book at well, you can get it on my site, thedecadethatrocked.com.
Awesome.
I also include postcards, and I have little centerfold things that I I throw some prints in, different bundles. But you can get it on Amazon.
Cool.
Simon & Schuster is distributing it, so Barnes & Noble.
Wonderful.
And it's got a French edition, a Spanish edition.
Wow.
And whoever else, we're just getting the ball started.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Make sure you get the book. You have to. You got it. It's a great book. It's really cool.
I have a setup where I did the slippery and wet shot. I have a little thing where it's like I have the artifacts, I have the mannequin with the shirt, I also have my darkroom, my original darkroom recreated. So there's a lot to show you. Let's go check it out.
Thank you,
All right,
brother.
come on.
Awesome.
Come on.
So we're looking at the artwork of Jersey Shore rock legend John Bon Jovi. We have this artwork here, which didn't get put on the cover, right?
Right.
And then this amazing artwork, which is obviously famous and iconic, and everybody knows it. So tell us the story behind these two.
Originally, it was supposed to be the girl with the large breasts.
Yeah, of
with
course.
cut up provocatively. The record companies were getting a little like, is this going to be racy or you
Right.
know? So they knew they had a hit record. They didn't want to jeopardize it because of the cover art. So they kind of canned it and had to come up with an idea. We were at the final moment, they already printed like 500,000 of these. And then John just came up to my studio. He said, Mark, get a hefty bag, a black hefty bag, get a spray bottle, and that's it. Come up, I'll be there. I didn't know what he was going to do. He just came up. I set it up just the way it is here. And he just wrote slippery when wet one time. I took a Polaroid. He didn't even want to look at the Polaroid. He's like, just send that to the record company. We're done.
Talk about creativity in the ninth hour, right? Like making it work.
And as we move down here, I'll show you my darkroom.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's check it out.
Yeah, come on.
My question to you is, what's up with the Weiss guy? Where'd you get that from?
Oh, the Weiss guy. A fan gave this to me,
Weiss guy.
actually. On the road with Motley Crue, 1984. I was actually out with Ozzy, and then the Motley guys asked if I wanted to travel with them. So I'm like, yeah, they're fun. Hanging out, we're watching movies, we're all drunk and having fun. And the Three Stooges is going on. And it's, one of Larry goes, hey, Weiss guy.
Weiss guy.
So he called me Weiss guy. And then when I went back to do the spread in Faces magazine, I put photos by Mark Weiss guy Weiss. And then it stuck.
That's it. That's brilliant, dude. I think
Thanks,
that's hilarious.
Mick Mars.
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
Yeah, so these are just my new tools. So this was my darkroom. That's in the back of my parents' garage.
Okay.
I promised my dad that I'd go to college if he built me a darkroom in the back of my garage, because I was using my parents' bathroom at the time. I wanted there to be some kind of photography exhibition, starting with mine, but going back in time to have cameras evolved over the years. I feel like it's interesting to the kids, and I'm going to have them so they're hands-on. You can get a lot of them at flea markets, and
Cool.
say I want to have like a little exhibition of photography, and then have other photographers on exhibit up here, and just have a whole learning experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You want to build this community, you want to help out, and like, what are other ways the community can help, or like things that you want people to know about what's going on here, and like about what you're going to be growing and like doing? Because we want to spread the word.
So I want to create, it's a big enough space that they can actually congregate and meet each other, and whether they end up being best friends for the rest of their life, or just being in a band and writing a song together, and just a place to be. And that's really where my passion is. That's what I really want to do in this area right here.
That's awesome. No, that's great. Good.
So spread the word.
Why don't you tell us the story about you, Zakk Wylde, Sebastian, and the wedding? What's up with that?
The Molly Pitcher in Red Bank, not too far from here. 1987, I got married to Suzanne.
Nice.
And it was kind of like a rock and roll wedding. I invited a lot of people, and the last subjects that I shot was Madam X. And I told my secretary, I said, you know what, invite that band. They were pretty crazy. We hung out for a week in Phoenix, and invite them. So I didn't think they were going to come, but they came. They drove from Detroit.
Wow.
And they all came. We all partied for like a week, pre-wedding, after wedding.
Wow.
And we became friends. And so that's where Sebastian came. Zakk was a guest. I met him maybe 4 months earlier too. Introduced him to Ozzy, and he was in Ozzy at that point. He didn't record anything, but he was in. So he was a guest too. And at the end, they went up and jammed. They did Led Zeppelin Rock and Roll, which the video I just put up in RollingStoneMag.com maybe a month ago for the first time in 30-something years.
You got to check that out. It's important.
And also Guitar World, I gave them another video of them playing with Kevin DuBrow from Quiet Riot.
Yep, sure.
Kevin DuBrow was a good friend of mine. He came. They dragged him on stage, and then so Sebastian during the wedding was like talking to people and saying hi, and he kept belting out his vocals, and he was. I remember him going up to John Bon Jovi's parents because they were guests. And next thing you know, my best man at my wedding, Dave Feld, was friends with Snake, and they just put it all together. And next thing you know, they're flying him in and hanging out at Mingles, and the rest is history on that.
All together.
So it's like rock and roll history.
That's awesome.
And he ended up living in not too far from here, Swimming River Road.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
No, there's so many legends in Jersey as we stand next
Bruce,
to Bruce
right,
and John, and all those amazing guys. Let's walk over here too, because you have so many other great pictures. Eddie, Mick Jagger, you got Slash.
Right.
Let me ask you
Ace,
something, like, as someone who's creative and someone who has a hobby and something to go to, me as well, when I'm feeling stressed or whatever, like I can go to production, I can play, an instrument. What do you have to say to people who are maybe struggling right now, who maybe don't have an outlet and are looking for a way to feel better, something to inspire them? Like, what do you have to say to those people? What advice could you give?
Everyone has to have a passion, unless they're really just 9 to 5 and that they don't have any ideas. But everyone I feel is an entrepreneur in the making. They just got to pull their ideas. Everyone wakes up in the morning, goes in the shower, and thinks about how they can be a millionaire.
Yeah, sure.
I still do it.
Yeah.
I don't have my Lamborghini yet, but I plan to. You
One
know
day.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm still coming up with those ideas.
Yeah.
So that Lamborghini is my motivation.
That's awesome.
Of keep coming up with ideas. But you know what? I'm going to keep coming up with ideas. I didn't do bad for myself. I'm meeting a lot of people, a lot of interesting people, and the journey continues.
That's
awesome.
And
that's what, follow your passion.
You just make do, right? When life gives you lemons, right? You just have to improvise, and it's great to have art. It's great to have something, right, to drive you. It just makes you feel good, and it just, it keeps you focused.
Listen, especially now, there's no excuse. There's no excuse to call someone on the phone. And it's okay to text, get the ball rolling, but my advice, get on the phone, old school it.
Yeah, reach
and
out
talk
to
to
people.
someone and talk to them, let them get to know you. Let them hear your voice.
That's awesome, man.
FaceTime them. That's what you got to do.
And for everyone too, just one last time, throw out some of the links, right? The Decade That Rocked, your book, you can get that Amazon, you said, on its own website. I mean, you can check out the Monmouth Museum.
Listen,
so many ways.
Everything is thedecadethatrocked.com. It's my landing page to see what I'm doing. It has interviews. It has my social media. It has links to this and to that, interviews I've done. That's where to go.
Epic.
The Decade That Rocked.
Awesome. The legendary Mark Weiss, thank you so much for having us here. This is so wonderful. The show is Show Us Everything, and you just showed us a lot of awesome art. So my name is Kyle Ward. Thanks for watching, and have a great one. So we just came from Mark's studio, the Monmouth Museum. We looked at all kinds of different rock artifacts, beautiful photographs. He told us some amazing stories of his adventures, right? We had a good time.
Absolutely, Kyle, and it was a pleasure interviewing you. I think, your talent is up there with some of the best around the Jersey Shore. And
thank you.
Really was a pleasure getting to know you more, not only as a friend, but on the music side of things.
That's right. No, it's great. Look, this is all about people coming together, sharing experiences, inspiring each other, keeping motivated, and this is Show Us Everything. So
yeah, it really is. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things during a tough situation, which is COVID-19. So Show Us Everything, wrapping up episode number 3. Always a pleasure.